Good evening. So, as I said, I will pop on live most days this week until the doors of the new membership close on Saturday. I'm just going to share this video whilst I'm on live. So, I hope everyone's well. I'm just going to share this video while I'm on now so we can share the love. So, one of the things I wanted to touch upon tonight, whatever you want to call it, depending on where you are in the world, actually, is, hang on, I'm just going to share now. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Hi, Vic. Good evening. Someone else said good evening, but doesn't show me who it is, doesn't show me your name. So I can't say hello properly to you, but hello, whoever you are. So yeah, what is it that stops us? Okay, so I have probably spoken to, safe to say, in excess of hundreds of people. Hi, Tina, about what they want, what they desire, and we always find it really easy to talk about what we don't want and what we're not happy with and what's wrong with us and all of that sort of stuff. And really, one of the biggest things for me is, sorry, my brother's just decided to hoover as I go live on Facebook. The thing for me is that it all ultimately comes down to the same thing. So say, for example, me, with, I don't know, my membership club, and there'll be people out there that have got memberships who, I don't know, might have thousands and thousands of members. And I could look at them and go, oh, well, why is it that they've got thousands of members and I don't? And why don't I have that many? And it's nothing to do with capability. You know, we all progress at our own time in our own way. But one of the things that I do know is that I wouldn't always progress as fast as I'd like because I'd stop myself. Because I'd be nervous about showing up. I'd be nervous, as daft as this sounds, I would be nervous about being successful, because then what? Then what happens? Then it might just all fall apart, or it might just then not work out. And what does that mean? And so we would have self-sabotage, no matter what level you are in your life or where you see yourself to be or how successful you see yourself to be. We all have the capacity to sabotage ourselves through our thinking. And usually, so the things that people will come up with that stop them from getting what they want out of life or where they want to be in life will be things like money, time, guilt. I'm going to come back to guilt in a minute. Intelligence, even down to people will tell me the way they look makes a difference. We can come up with so many things, and yet ultimately the thing that stops us putting one foot in front of the other and making progress is ourselves, because we think our way out of it. We convince ourselves it isn't going to happen. We convince ourselves we're not good enough. And I'm going to touch upon the thing of guilt here because it's a big topic. It's a big topic. Guilt about spending money on yourself, or guilt about time that you spend on yourself, or anything like that. People think that when they get feelings of guilt, that it's something they really need to listen to. I did a whole podcast on this, if anybody's interested in hearing more. But we believe that actually it leads to, these feelings mean something. They mean that we shouldn't be doing something, we're not good enough, we need to get better at something, we need to manage our time better, we need to get more money, we need to do all of these things to stop these awful feelings of guilt. When guilt is nothing but an indication of the path your thinking's going down. And guilt, what that really means then is that what that's telling you is to slow down, to relax your expectations about yourself. It's saying that you're expecting too much of yourself. It's saying that you are thinking negatively about yourself and your possibilities and the opportunities that you have to see things differently and for things to be different in your life. And, you know, people will say to me, and I know that people will watch this and go, well, it's all right for her to say because she's got a business now and she does well, and, you know, it was easy said, and maybe, you know, maybe she got money off her dad because he had money, or maybe people will have so many ideas about how I got to where I was. And yet what I always go back to is, regardless of what opportunities were in front of me or not in front of me at any given time, which would fluctuate, by the way, is, and also money is not everything either. Okay, you could have all the money in the bank in the world, and if you haven't got the emotional resilience or grounding in that moment, you're not going to do very much with it. And so really, it's, when I think back to the time where I was getting in my own way constantly because I was fearful that I wouldn't cope and I wouldn't manage because I didn't see myself as that resilient, which I don't see that way now, that's what was stopping me. It was my belief or lack of belief in myself. Now, I wouldn't necessarily portray that to others. You know, I'd probably be kind of like, yeah, I'm fine and I'm doing great, etc., etc. But deep down, I never saw myself getting past any certain stage because I'd be fearful. I can remember when I first set up my first membership a couple of years ago. Hi, Jane. A couple of years ago, that I can remember being nervous when people started to join because I thought, what if I can't sustain it? What if I get anxious or overwhelmed and I go backwards and I have to shut it, and what are these people going to think of me? Even the responsibility of a membership club felt big. And that was because I was worrying about other people, what they would think if that happened. And actually, if I got run over by a bus, the membership would shut, and it is what it is, you know? So we take on a lot of responsibility and a lot of thinking around what we should and shouldn't be doing. So watch your language and how you talk to yourselves. Watch what it is that you're saying to yourself. And if you have feelings of guilt, it's not because you're shit. It's not because you're not juggling everything. It's because you're a human being and your thinking is taking you down a path that is overwhelming you. So it's a sign. Guilt is a sign and a signal to slow down, lower your expectations, accept yourself as you are, be okay with where you're at right now. And I don't say that lightly because I know that sometimes it really feels like things couldn't get any worse. But nothing ever stays the same, and it always changes. So, hi Amanda, hi Wayne, hi Jay, Michelle, let's see everyone, Dawn, Mickey. So yeah, so I just wanted to pop on, as I've said, I'm popping on in case anyone has any questions about the membership. The first, for the new membership, there's two different ones, but the new one has launched this week and they will both be closing on Saturday morning. They will reopen once more for a few days just before next year. So anyone that wants to work with me in that way before next year, then that is the way to do it. If you're unsure about any of it, send me a message and let me know. And I think we are pretty much halfway through the places with the bonus half an hour. Vic's excited for it. Me too, Vic. I've got big plans for you. So yeah, okie doke. Right, so I will leave it there. Thanks again. I'll pop over on Instagram in a bit. I couldn't handle doing the two. I don't like it when I have to keep looking different ways. I'll get my technology sorted one day, you know, but hey ho, doesn't matter, does it? As long as we show up, doesn't matter if it's imperfect. And at the a quote that was on a course that I did not long ago, all around memberships and more like the technical and the business side of it, so that I can kind of make the experience even more engaging for people. You know, things like have recordings, audios, and transcripts so that people can read it like a document. So working on all of that stuff, which is exciting and it's nice, it feels good. And one of the quotes that came up in that was massive imperfect action. And I put it on the banner in my new membership because that for me is what it is. It's massive action. We take massive action in our lives and progress when our mind settles down and we shut up telling ourselves we can't do things. And it's going to be imperfect. It's absolutely going to be imperfect. And to me, you know, yesterday I had makeup on. Today, I've not got a scrap on. You know, I've got all red patches and I've got, like, we don't need to be perfect to show up and give value to people. You know, and I know for some people it would be hard to come on with makeup because in their head they'd be saying, oh, look at that, you look terrible and you look this, or what will people think of you? Will people think you're professional enough? Whereas for me, I know that it's more than that. And don't get me wrong, there'll be days where, again, my state of mind is lower and my mood is slightly lower. And I'll probably put makeup on a little bit of it to cover it because I'll feel more insecure that day. And that's not because I've then took a dip or there's something wrong with me. It's because I'm human and my levels of insecurity, my levels of insecure thinking is going to fluctuate depending on my mood and my state of mind. But as you know, these are all the things that underpin everything that I do with people and everybody that I work with. So thank you very much. And some of you I can see are already in the membership club, and maybe I'll see a few more of you there before Saturday. Okay, take care. Bye for now.